Morning, everyone. Hello and welcome to the LovenStamps studio. I am excited to stamp with you this morning. I have a card that is perfect for the, lazy, laid back days of summer. It is a layout that you will use over and over again for lots of different cards and stamp sets and bundles and papers and so forth. But the version we're going to do today is particularly, summery feeling to me. We are going to use the Seaside Wishes stamp set. And I've used this one kind of recently for a video, if you guys remember seeing this technique with the masking and so forth. Today we're going to do something even simpler, just a really great way to show off the accessories that go with this, because this is a bundle that includes a Hybrid Embossing Folder, which means that there's a stamp and a die that go together. You actually run them through the machine at the same time, and you get die cut embossed images. So I know you guys know that I'm a huge fan of those, and so I'm going to show you yet another one of those great ones today. So, hey John, good to see you this morning. Finally, we are going to reference my very favorite page in the Stampin' Up! Book that came out this spring, this summer, page 22. So you can, if you know what I'm talking about, if you know, you know. If you don't, no worries, we'll help fill you in. But this is going to be the basic card design layout suggestion page, and so that is where this card design came from. So with that, let's go ahead and switch our camera down. Hey Trish, hey Kelly, happy pre-Friday, or Thursday as the rest of us like to call it. So anyway, page 22 here has all of these fabulous ideas here at the bottom, and I am going to, we're going to pull this one right here, if we can focus, with these 3 strips on it. We're going to change it up just a little bit, but that's going to be sort of the basis for our design, and we are going to pull in some designer series paper. So if you haven't seen this paper yet, it might be because this was a super duper popular paper and it was kind of hard to keep in the store for a little while, but it is back and firmly there, so you don't have to worry about missing it again. But this is a great time to think about adding it. And as always, the supplies are all listed in the description here, video description, so it's easy to find. But this is the Country Woods Designer Series paper, and it's gorgeous on both sides. I love this particular stripey here, but this paper feels sort of weathery and summery and beachy to me. And so we're going to use strips for this card since that is our layout. So I've picked these 3 colors right here. Hey, Tanya. Hey, good to see everybody. And we're going to use these as sort of the basis for our card. So let's go ahead. I like the crumb cake here in the background, and I'm going to pull this cardstock in. This is one of the things that is fantastic about Stampin' Up! And the fact that the colors all match. So you really don't have to struggle when you are putting things together. You know that the crumb cake cardstock is going to match that crumb cake that's in the background here. So, oh, Sue, you're having some trouble with video. I'm sorry. It looks okay from my end, but hopefully it'll straighten out. We'll see here. So we're going to go ahead and pop these papers on. Now, in that little sample from page 22, it showed them being all in one line, but we are going to... Oh, goodness. Oh, I think I picked the wrong glue. That one's empty. I was actually stamping this morning. I have some things I needed to get done because I am headed shortly off on a backpacking trip, and I needed some things to take with me. I know, right? Everybody needs to take card making supplies backpacking, but anyway, we're going to go ahead and stagger these just a little bit. I often like to start with the center when I'm doing something like this that I want to be centered in the end, just because it makes it really easy to kind of start in one spot and then work out the sides without having to measure or anything like that. And rather than having them be, 2 and 1 or line up at the bottom, I've staggered so that they're all a little bit different, okay? Now let's get here to sort of the meat of our card, and that is gonna be with this Seaside Wishes stamp set. So the folder itself, I like to hang on to these because it's just easy to look at them, has this die that matches. And a lot of times when I do the hybrid embossing folders, I'll ink my folder, but this one I'm gonna leave subtle because these sand dollars are gorgeous just as they are. And we're gonna actually do them from vanilla cardstock for something just a little softer. Now you can use these dies with the internal parts right here and die cut some super detailed dies. In that case, what you might do is have a 2-layer die, one with sort of this detail overlay, and then one with just the outer. So this would be, you know, this piece here would fit right on here. The other thing you can do is use with a folder. So let's go ahead and look at this. I'm gonna pop my folder open. And when you do this, there's gonna be one side where the folder and the die snap together, okay? Now, if you forget which one it is, it's only gonna be on one side. So if like I'm trying to put this on over here, it's not quite snapping, it's loose. But when I come over here, it is going to snap right in there, and I know that that's exactly where it belongs, okay? So don't panic about not being sure. And then you're going to go ahead and take your cardstock and pop it on here. Now, if you wanted this to be a background on a card, the way we used on the masking card, so here we did this in black, which is famous for not showing detail. I'm not sure how much you can see. I think you can see that detail in the background there. In person, it's nicely visible, but you could use this just as a regular embossing folder, but we really want those sand dollars out of the center. So I'm gonna slide my cardstock in. When you're using an embossing folder, be careful to make sure that you do not have your cardstock in the hinge of the folder. The little sort of, well, you can see here, right? This is the hinge action. It really doesn't like that. There's no room for the cardstock to squish, and it stresses the plastic quite a bit. So we're gonna go ahead and use it this way, and welcome back. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this in. Now with a hybrid embossing folder, you're going to use the number 4 sandwich plate, so the thicker one. If you forget which one this is, it's easy. The directions are here on the number 1 pad, okay? So see, right down here, it's gonna actually show me use with 3D embossing folders, and it shows a little number 4, and then our hybrid embossing folder is one of our 3D embossing folders. So it's gonna go in here, and we will crank it through, nice and easy. And then when we come back to our workspace, we have our folder here. So I'm gonna pull this off, and now we have our die cut sand dollars. Now, if you wanted to use this for something, you certainly can. This nice texture along the edge would be sort of a fun background. Maybe you might have a strip of it or something like that. And then we have our pretty sand dollars. So let's see, there we go. You guys see those pretty well? They are 3 sizes and lots of detail. And I feel like, yes, you could ink them, but I don't think it's necessary. I think it's sort of light and elegant this way. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna work on a little bit of collage here. And I'm actually going to pop 2 of these on here. I could put a 3rd one, but I feel like it's a little too much. So instead, let's switch this up and use some of the other images here from our Seaside Wishes dies. So we're gonna go ahead and pull in another piece of vanilla cardstock. And I'm gonna add a darker blue. And Misty Moonlight is a nice one for this color scheme. So we're gonna pull in some Misty Moonlight, and we're gonna go, since these are big round images, we're gonna go with something different. Oh yeah, I'm glad you guys are excited about this paper. We're gonna go for a different shape, and we're going to make ourselves a couple of these starfish things. You can tell I'm like I love the beach, but I don't go very often. I'm kind of a fake beach goer, so I'm not so good with the names of things. Sea stars, maybe? All right, and then we're gonna need a greeting, and this one has some really great ones. You absolutely made my day. Your friendship is the best gift. Sometimes the simplest things mean the most. Love you. I'm gonna go with our friendship ones here and add this to our strip of Pool Party. So our Pool Party cardstock comes from the Designer Series Paper Inspiration. And we're just gonna stamp that there on the end. And let's go ahead and cut ourselves a banner tail for this one. So if you haven't seen this trick before, this will maybe blow your mind. If you have, you're like, oh yeah, I know that. So what we're gonna do to make our banner and our fishtail is cut up to wherever we want to be at the center. Okay, I'm gonna bend that just so you can see. And then I'm going to snip to the point of that middle cut from either end, corner to corner. And that way we end up with a nice shaped banner tail there pretty much every time. So that makes our lives easier. So we're gonna pop this up here. And then we're going to go ahead and die cut these. And the dies here are included in the set that go along with the Seaside Wishes. So that makes this really handy. Starfish. Thanks, guys. All right. And so through the magic of television, I do have some starfish that are die cut already. So we've got these guys here. And we're going to go ahead and stagger these around our edges here. Now we're going to stamp a little on the inside of our card, and then I have the absolute perfect accent for this. So let's look at putting these things down and getting them all attached. I have some Stampin' Dimensionals around here somewhere. There we go. Some Stampin' Dimensionals, and I might go ahead and pop one here under our greeting first. And this I'm going to butt up right to the edge of our card. And then I'm going to start pulling off our sand dollars. So I kind of like how these are arranged. So we'll go ahead and pop these on like so. The dimension just gives them a lot of extra interest. The texture, the 3D embossed texture dimension gives them a whole bunch of extra, I don't know, oomph and interest here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use our multi-purpose liquid glue to add our starfish. And let's see, pop one down here. And I think this one's gonna need a Stampin' Dimensional, but our regular dimensionals are really too big, so I'm gonna pull in a mini dimensional, and I might still have to trim that. Let's see. Nope, looks good. So we're gonna pop this one up. If you don't have mini dimensionals in your collection, there are actually 3 different kinds that Stampin' Up! Carries. There are the regular dimensionals, the mini dimensionals, and then there are black dimensionals, which are really fabulous when you're working with dark cardstocks and you don't want things to like show from the side. So there are kind of staples that are good to have in your collection. So when you're looking at the bonus days during the month of during the month of July, and for each $50 you order, you get a $5 bonus days coupon. So when you're looking at like bumping your order to, you know, get another bonus days coupon for free, then think about adding those dimensionals and staples and so forth. So you've probably guessed that these are my best accent for this card. So these are the flat back pearls, and they could not be more perfect for this card. So I'm gonna pop, we're gonna go with our sort of magic 3 on here, and we're gonna spread these out here on our design. So, all right, and then maybe a little bit down there. There we go. Okay, so now we have our collage here front based on, of course, that layout on page 22. So let's take a quick look at that again. So we have this layout here with these 3 stripes on it, and then our card here. So instead of keeping our accent right down here at the very corner, so just in this area, we've really spread it out a little bit more to give it just a little bit more interest, I guess, based on the different shapes and so forth. So my pearl's moving. All right, and then of course we want to stamp something for the inside of our card. So I think maybe we'll just go with our starfish since they're handy. And I'm gonna stamp here a little bit right off the edge of my paper, and we'll maybe just do a couple of those overlapped. There we go. Okay. So that gives us a really simple addition to add inside our card. And then of course you'd want to stamp your envelope. If you wanted to, actually let's go crazy and add like maybe a sand dollar here inside our card. I kind of like the edge coming off. Okay, watch this. It feels uneven to me, so I don't want to add one sand dollar like this because it feels like kind of stuck on. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut a straight line here, okay? And we're gonna take one sand dollar and pop it down here at the bottom and one here on the side. And then it's gonna look like this is a whole ensemble that's kind of meant to go together. And because we now have an even number of things I'm gonna go ahead and pop one more starfish up here. Where it's going to overlap our sand dollar just a tiny bit. So that's going to make this stand out just a little bit more, and then pop this here on the inside. And that was a fun bonus. I wasn't really even planning on adding that, but it was sitting right there. You guys saw it. We had to use it somewhere. So there is the inside of our card with that bonus. So of course, another fun thing to do would be to take another strip of designer series paper and pop that on the inside to continue that theme. All kinds of good possibilities there. So I hope you guys are as excited about this Seaside Wishes bundle as I am. It's really just an outstanding set of images and detail, and the texture and so forth in these die cuts is beautiful. So lots of fun possibilities on things you can do with that. So, all right. Well, on this Friday, pre-Friday, I'll, for those of us who have to actually, have a work day tomorrow too. I wish you guys all the best. Hope you have a wonderful weekend planned. And I will be back next week for 2 fun Christmas in July, because next week actually is Christmas in July. So we're celebrating here at LovenStamps, and I will have 2 great Christmas cards for you featuring the Season of Green and Gold supplies that are part of the LovenStamps monthly tutorial. So if you haven't seen those first 2 cards that I shared, okay, now I have to make sure I share the right ones. These 2, right? This is what I've already showed you guys. So this was the patchwork card, and then this was the overlay stair-step card with that fun design on it. So these are 2 of the 4 projects for LovenStamps monthly tutorials in July, and then there are 2 more that I'll show you next week. So I think you guys will be excited about those. And of course, you'll get that PDF as a thank you from me for your order during the month of July of any size order. And then if you place an order that's $50 or more, you not only get bonus days coupons, but you get to double dip because you'll also get 2 card kits in the mail from me, one of which will be this fun patchwork card, and the other will be a card that you will see next week. So yay, yeah, everyone's excited about Christmas in July, right? I actually have a friend who is very, 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 very excited for Christmas every year. And so she starts the countdown, like she's already posting the countdown, how many days till Christmas. So I guess I could have looked it up to tell you, but it's coming sooner than you might think. So this is a great time to get excited and start on your Christmas cards. So the Season of Green and Gold, if it doesn't look familiar to you, is part of the online exclusives, and they are linked in the video description wherever you're watching. They're linked in the video description so that you can easily find those and see what's new. And again, I'll have those tutorials at the end of the month for everybody who's placed an order, and look forward to sharing those ideas with you guys next week. So, all right, I think that's us for this pre-Friday. Happy Thursday, everyone, and I'll see you next week for a couple of fun new Season of Green and Gold projects. So, oh, and some of you guys I'll see tomorrow night for our LovenStampfuls demonstrator group stamp and share. So excited to see you guys there, and some fun things planned for that. So anyway, have a great day, guys. Happy stamping, everyone. Thanks for joining me.